Do you remember? Do you remember what was going on yesterday at the very end? So Eldrick and Sir Laughs-a-Lot and young Albert heard a sound. What was the sound they heard? There's a crying sound. Do you remember that? I hope we'll get to hear what the crying sound is today. All right. You sit quietly and enjoy.
It's the princess.
Princess, whatever is the matter?
I don't know.
What should we do? Hey, is that an onion? Princess, were you eating this before you started crying?
Yes.
Onions can make people cry.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I've never taken a bite out of one before. I was so hungry, you see, so I went to the kitchen for a snack. But Cook was gone, and all I could find was this onion. And I thought if I used my imagination and pretended really, really hard that it was an apple, it would taste like an apple. But when I took a bite out of it, I started crying, and I didn't know why I was crying. And I thought, I must be sad about something because people cry when they're sad, but I didn't know what I was sad about, and that made me cry even harder. And then you came, and who are you?
My name is Albert.
Albert. That's a nice name. I'm Gwendolyn. Princess Gwendolyn.
Princess, do you remember what I told you about pretending?
Yes. Pretending is fun, but don't take it too far. Take care, or you could wind up with a scar.
Her imagination is a little bizarre.
See, I got this scar on my chin because I was pretending to be like Jack and the Beanstalk. I imagined that I had my own special beans that I planted, and they sprouted and grew into a giant beanstalk, only it was really just the old oak tree in the garden, and I climbed up the beanstalk, but then I fell all the way down, and I hit the ground very hard, and I scraped up my hands and knees and hit my chin on a sharp rock. After that, Eldrick and my father told me I mustn't get carried away when I'm imagining things, or I could really hurt myself.
Wow.
In case you hadn't noticed, the princess has quite the imagination.
What kind of things do you like pretending, Albert?
Oh, well, I've always imagined what it would be like to be a knight of the square table. That's why I came here. I just arrived today, and Eldrick and Sir Laughs-a-Lot are training me.
Well, I guess you can check off saving a damsel in distress. Huh, Albert?
Sometimes I like to pretend I'm a knight. I imagine I'm charging in a battle on my horse or fighting a fearsome dragon. Then I usually end up breaking something. Like that time I was running through the Great Hall and I knocked over a vase and I broke it.
Sir Laughs-a-Lot has already given me sword fighting lesson and taught me some of the basics.
I wish I could learn how to use a sword.
I sure don't. But speaking of that, Albert, we ought to get back to our sword training.
I should like to introduce him to my father first. It wouldn't take long.
I'm not so sure, Your Highness. The king is a very busy man.
The king?
He wouldn't mind, especially since Albert helped me. I think he'd want to meet him. I'll go get him.
You okay? Albert, you're white as a sheep.
I think you mean as white as a sheet.
Hello? Anybody in there?
This is really happening. I'm going to meet the king.
Now listen. Don't forget to bow and call him your majesty. You've got to make a good impression.
Don't
Okay.
make him any more nervous than he already is, Sir Laughs-a-Lot. Just be yourself, Albert. You come and meet us outside afterwards.
I will.
Father, this is the boy I wanted you to meet, Albert. Oh dear! Albert? Albert, wake up!
Your Majesty.
It's my pleasure to meet you, young man. You may rise.
I was crying when Eldrick, Sir Laughs-a-Lot, and Albert found me. Albert figured out right away it was because of the onion and helped me stop crying.
What am I going to do with you, Gwendolyn? Thank you. Thank you, Albert. Thank you for taking care of my very imaginative daughter.
Albert is trained to become a knight of your square table, Father. He just arrived at the castle today.
Ah, well, you are most welcome here. Knighthood is a high calling. I rely upon my knights to help protect the kingdom and to stand for truth. May you train well and prove yourself worthy.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Well, Eldrick and Sir Laugh-a-Lot, will they be training you then?
Yes, they will. I had my first lessons today.
Good. You couldn't be trained by two better men. I look forward to seeing what God does in your life, Albert. And now we must return to my duties. There is much to do. Gwendolyn, in 2 days, 2 days' time, we must get ready for a ride to go to a nearby village to settle a dispute between some nobles. Off with it now. And now no more snacking on onions, please.
Yes, Father. I'll never make that mistake again. I'm still very hungry, though. I think I'll go see if Cook is back with any real apples. Can you find a way back outside all right, Albert?
Yes, I think so.
I'll see you later, then.
Bye.
Hello there.
I didn't see you there, Your Grace.
The princess is a delightful young lady, isn't she? So charming and creative.
You could say that.
I just happened to be passing by and saw you with the king.
Yes, Your Grace. Princess Gwendolyn wanted to introduce me, and I got to meet him. On my first day, too.
How exciting. That was very thoughtful of him to take time out of his busy day to meet you.
Yes, it was. He's a very busy man, though. It sounds like he has a long journey planned soon.
Oh, is that so? Did he say where he's going? And when?
He says he's going to a nearby village to settle a disagreement of some sort in a couple of days.
I wonder which village. Albert, do you think you could find out for me?
I don't know.
Oh, that's all right. I was just wondering. I'm planning a special banquet for the king and all the nobles. If I knew where the king was going, I would know how far away it is and when he'll be back and what night I should plan the banquet.
That makes sense. I can ask the princess and let you know.
Oh, thank you, Albert. If you do this for me, I won't forget.
Thank you, Your Grace. Oh, Sir Laughs-a-Lot, I'm back. It's just me, George. How you doing, boy?
King. Were you nervous? nervous? Hey, that reminds me of a joke. Which of the knights never doubted himself? Certain. Certain. Certain.
I think Albert and George have had enough of your jokes for one day.
You're probably right. I need some new material. Maybe Sir Percival can help.
I have something for you, Albert. You've dreamed your whole life of becoming a knight. But there's something more important than becoming a knight, and that's becoming a child of God. Now, a knight obviously needs his armor, but there is another kind of armor that God gives his children to wear. It's invisible, but it's just as real. And that first piece of armor, that spiritual armor, is the belt of truth. When you wear this belt, it's going to be a physical reminder to you of the spiritual armor given from God to his children. This belt of truth helps us to be people who tell the truth, just as God does. Stand, therefore, having fastened on the belt of faith, the belt of truth with unshakable faith in God and his word.
Thank you, Eldrick. I will treasure it always. But Eldrick, how do I become God's child?
Let's sit down. There are two kingdoms, the good and the bad. The good kingdom is God's, and the bad is Satan's. When we're born into the bad kingdom. From our childhood, we disobey God's commands, and that is sin. Sin is what separates us from God, from his good kingdom. But God sent his son, Jesus, as a perfect substitute for our sins. Jesus lived a perfect life. He died in our place, and he rose from the dead so we can be forgiven and be part of God's good kingdom as children of God. We need to only admit that we have sinned and that we need Jesus to receive God's forgiveness. If you do this, God will make you his child and give you his special armor to wear so you can have unshakable faith and stand strong against evil.
I see. I have a lot to think about after today.
Yes, and as you think about these things, you must study the book of truth.
That's right. The special copy you gave me. I left it here on the bench. Did you see it, Eldrick?
I'm sorry, Albert. I haven't seen it since I gave it to you.
Hello, Eldrick. Hello, Albert. Aw, hi, boy. Don't worry. I didn't forget about you. You want a treat? You want it?
I can't find it anywhere.
What's the matter, Albert?
The book of truth Eldrick gave me. I left it here earlier, but it's gone. I've got to find it.
Wait up, Albert. I can help.
Albert, wait. Let's think about this. Maybe you should try retracing your steps.
The thought plickens. Right? Isn't that what Sir Laughs-a-Lot would say? Hey, let's talk about something to do tomorrow to double your points. How about tomorrow will be a good day for a dress-up day? Tomorrow. Dress up medieval. No weapons. No weapons. You hear that? No swords. No toy guns. No weapons. I don't want to have, a shield is fine. I don't want to have to try and decide whether your gun is real. Okay? So no sword, no weapons. So dress up medieval. No weapons. All right. I want to pray with you before we go, but first let's do another game or another little. This is really we're going to think for a moment. How many of you have ever been to an amusement park? Okay. Have you ridden on a roller coaster? When you rode on a roller coaster, did you have to have some kind of a belt